I ain't gonna say good morning to you because I'm just gonna say what I want for you. So I'm gonna say good day to you because that's what I want you to have. And if you know who the Creator is within you to know, you were given life and free will. Free will to will your life however you will it to go for free. Meaning, you can make a sunny day out of rain with your free will. No one makes you do anything. When you say someone made you punch them in the face, someone made you shoot them, you gave them your free will. So what do you need life for? I'm just saying. Here's some more bullshit to go along with all the rest of the bullshit that's going on with this government and all they bullshit. And it's still dealing with you know who, Hillary Clinton. I say to all the conscious thinking people with their conscious to be thinking to think about this. Ain't it some bullshit to say that we have two candidates that's not worth spit to become president of the United States of all this shit? And they ain't shit. Like I say, if you ain't worth spit, you definitely ain't shit. So like I say again, ain't it ironic how we are nothing but pawns in the middle of a chess game that we own the board to? I say it again. Isn't it ironic that we, the people, are pawns in a chess game and we own the board? Meaning, we was given life by the creator of life with free will. God was created for you to be controlled with by fear. Free will is you willing to do everything free of basically the consequences and repercussions of it when you know deep down in your DNA you know right from wrong. Because right feels righteous and you feel good with bliss. And wrong feels just like it it feels bad and you're down in that shit. So the creator, love, unconditionally the feeling, the creator gave you life, gave you free will. It wouldn't make the creator divine if the creator was to control your mind. Come on, people. The creator is one way all the time. And that's loving you unconditionally. Meaning, no matter what you do, the creator gonna love you because in this circle of life, whatever you do wrong is gonna come back around to you. And then you might have a chance to get it right. But if not, you die in your turmoil. You live in your turmoil. You are in your own hell praying for someone to save you. But you wasn't doing that when you was alive. I'm just saying, if I wouldn't have went into the life with my free will giving up on the rights to live because I didn't care no more about living because I was caring so hard to live right and the people that were supposed to be doing right were doing me wrong. Even though I didn't want to be here because I didn't want to suffer here for something that I did wrong. I drank, I drove, I had an accident, I was out of control. Now I know the control which is in me. The love unconditional feeling is the creativity in you is the creator of you, the spark before there's smoke or fire. It's that touch of unconditional love that lets you know that you are alive. After you touch with the spark of the love unconditional from the creator in the beginning of your day, you have free will to move out of that bed or in that bed, you will stay. It's time for you to start thinking, not just with your third eye, because really, you are nothing but a little eye. I don't like being a big eye, but I am a whole eye, because I do know the reason why. We all are here in a circle of life. When I say that we eternal, we are eternally in a bubble that's going to constantly go round and round and round. The way that you come into this life is going to always be the way you go down. Your heart is the beginning of you. As long as your heart stay pure with you, in control of your mind, evil will do nothing but stay far behind. As long as you loving the creator of love, which is the feeling unconditionally that is love, the touching spark and reason you are alive. Heaven is all around you. You breathe it in, you see it with your eyes. Because believe it or not, the Creator won't do you nothing to destroy you. The Creator is one way, loving you unconditionally, any way you want to play. But at the end of the day, it's going to all be on you. I'm just saying. So let's go along with this on Hillary Clinton thing, because y'all might think I'm preaching to you. But nope, I'm just telling you the truth. Spiritually, it's all on you. The Creator gave it to you when you was given the spark of life, the feeling of what's right and what's wrong. You have choices. You can choose to go to the right or to the left. But always know that the Creator is nothing else but straight and righteous in love. Every time I say man changes shit, I say man changed his love to God. That's the twist. That's why you say God is love. But shit, the creator love created all the men that created all the different gods and all the different religions. I know love. I went into the light where the light was bright and it just went dark and dark. But then I felt the way that I felt. I felt the power of all the love. And I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back. I didn't want to come back here. I didn't want to come back here and suffer no more. Because I was already in love. I didn't want to come back here. That bullshit and the lies and all the rest of this shit that all y'all sons of bitches be dreaming of having. All the bullshit, materialistic, the money, the cars, all the flashy shit don't mean nothing if you don't have love. So I say this to all you sons of bitches. I'm talking about you Boss Child and you stinking rich sons of bitches that don't give a fuck about love. Yeah, you say you love your fucking family, but we all in this bubble together, in a circle of life, together. You stinking sons of bitches. And I say that with love, because it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong to know that someone is drinking dirty water and know you can do something about it. That's why this thing is about to twist in the right order. Because love, the creator of it all. about to show the world something. I just say it like that. Something. Since that's what y'all strive for so fucking much. Something. Some things. All type of things. When the power is in a loving, caring, human experience with other humans experiencing it together. Beautiful.
Something big is here. Tic Tac mixers. They change flavor while you eat them. Try cherry cola and peach lemonade flavors. Tic Tac, go little.
Now,
the FBI closed.
You need to think to yourself, what are they using to make those different flavors come out to tempt you into loving that flavor, to constantly buying that product? It's time to stop the bullshit, people. Total life change is a tea that I know is helping change my life totally, which my life was totally changed once I went into the light, giving up on life because of what was being done to me, and I thought that they was killing me that day. Yes, I did. I'm telling the truth. I gave up to the Creator and said, fuck that bullshit, God, because that's what I was praying to end up where I was with all the shit I was going through and doubting who the Creator was. But now I know. There ain't no believing bullshit in me no more when I know who the Creator is in me and where I need to go. So that's why I'm saying all of the products that you eat today is made that way to make you want to eat it. See, like Total Life Change, the company, and some of the products that they sell, when you drink the tea, you don't get no taste. You don't need no taste when your body knows what it needs. So like when I say to you, I say it this way. When are you going to get control over your mind and not allow someone else to control your mind by playing with your taste buds and your brain? It starts with your heart. That's where the spark starts, because that's where the beat pumps your blood from. Without the beat of the heart, how can your vibrations start unless you have that spark to have a beat? I'm just allowing the Creator to create my reality because I gave up on me when I went to the light with free will. I gave up on me. Now I see that was the best thing that I could possibly do for me, because now I know the Creator of all life. That's why I'm tickled to death to know that I'm eternal, babe. That's why I'm ready to show the world, babe. Look at me. I went from where I was mentally, physically, dying to alive, knowing I'm not lying. The truth is the truth, and y'all will see. Because I live the way that the Creator gave me life every day with that spark before there was fire, because that touch lets me know I'm alive, because that's the love that I feel to motivate me. Woo! I'm just trying to tell you, y'all. Back to this crooked Hillary.
The book on Hillary Clinton's email investigation, but she's not off the legal hook, not by a long shot, as she still faces potentially multiple investigations and lawsuits. The FBI is refusing to confirm or deny whether the Bureau is now investigating corruption involving Secretary of State Clinton and the Clinton Family Foundation. The House Oversight Committee has officially asked the FBI to investigate whether Clinton lied to Congress under oath. The State Department's Inspector General has reopened its investigation into Clinton's email system. And of course, there are several private lawsuits seeking information, most notably lawsuits filed by Judicial Watch. Chris Farrell is Director of Research and Investigations. Joins us now live. Chris, I got to ask you, of course, last week, the former secretary expressed being relieved at the FBI. That was a huge hurdle. That's been closed. She won't face criminal charges. But there is still a lot that she's got to deal with, potentially, including possibly being forced to testify under oath in connection with the Judicial Watch lawsuit.
My DJ,
That's correct. On Monday, they'll be
Billy.
appearing in front of Judge Emmett Sullivan here in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia. And that hearing will decide finally, first of all, if we will go forward with Mrs. Clinton's deposition, and I believe that we will. It'll also set a time frame for that to occur. We've already deposed people like Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills, and so they've gone under oath, and our attorneys have questioned them very closely about exactly what was going on with this email server. And really, at this point, it's time for Mrs. Clinton to go under oath. There's no sworn testimony from her in any forum concerning what was going on with her email server, and now is the time for her to comport herself with the law.
Well, her legal team and other critics of this move essentially said it's a fishing expedition, that she has given plenty of information about her system, and that at this point, efforts like this proceeding against her are essentially, political hit jobs in the middle of her presidential campaign. How do you respond?
If you read the briefs of her attorneys, it isn't a matter of not wanting to explain herself. She doesn't want to comport herself with the law.
I'm in a wheelchair, so riding the bike is a wonderful thing to me. But see, once I start walking on y'all, then y'all gonna see that I already know who the creator is. And the power of the creator is in me. Or I wouldn't be able to see or do what I'm doing.
He never determined why she set up the email server. He said that twice.
Ain't got shit to do with that bullshit God shit that man created for y'all to be pure. I'm saying fear God, because God gonna do you something when the creator would never do you nothing, because the creator is the creator, not a destroyer.
All right. Do you think you'll get any new information? First of all, you sound confident that you think the judge
Mother
will in
Earth
your
gives
favor
some anger.
hearing on Monday, explaining why you
Mother
need her
Nature gives some anger.
to testify. And I've seen the pleadings,
Because the devil is a man.
she's really the only one who has the information that we're seeking about this, and to that point, she hasn't testified under oath. But if you get her to sit down, first of all, do you think she's going to delay past the election? There's plenty of legal maneuvering she could do. But when you do get her to sit down for deposition, if that ever happens, do you truly think you're going to get any information different, any answer different than we've already heard?
Yes. I mean, look, she made the decision to set up the server. It's her property. She's articulated to people like Cheryl Mills and Huma Abedin why she wanted to do what she did. In fact, at one point, Huma Abedin in her deposition looked at our attorney and said, I don't know, ask her. Well, we'd like to. I mean, it's her property, her decision, her actions. She made the decision to communicate the way she did. She needs to explain herself. She needs to do it under oath. And she really needs to comport herself with the law. Like I said before, she absconded with tens of thousands of federal records. The American public is owed straight answers.
Well, and I know in one of your proceedings, you're seeking some very specific emails that the State Department via the DOJ told you, at least in a motion to the court, that they can't get them to you until October of 2018. So we know that is pending as well. Chris Farrell, thanks so much. Keep us updated.
Oh, because some nigga looking like a gangster about to talk about over here. Let's see what he got to say. From the dude doing a commercial at the music place. Yeah, see how low vibration music is? Telling you what type of bullshit to be doing. Alright, here we go.
We have a president who's out campaigning for crooked Hillary Clinton, and he should be home working on ISIS, where the threat is getting worse and worse. He should be working on trade. He should be working on the borders. People are flowing into our country from lots of places, but from Syria, no more. No more. Okay, they're not coming. No more.
All right, that was Donald Trump earlier tonight at a rally in North Carolina. Joining us now, Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump. Good to see you, sir. How are you? Appreciate you being here. At least, to operate Air Force One for an hour, Hillary and Obama out there today, it's $206,000 an hour, and that doesn't include all the Secret Service, local police, everything else that is associated with it. That's 5 hours, $1 million, taxpayers, they pay for it. Should the campaign pay for that?
There's no question about it, but it's not surprising, right? I mean, Hillary, under the State Department, she lost $6 billion, meaning it went missing. It disappeared into midair. I mean, think about the good that kind of money could have done for America, right? I mean, think about the good.
Yeah, they do a lot of philanthropy. You know these. Think about, all right, so he's getting as the chancellor of this, laureate university, he's getting $16.5 million over a couple of year period of time. And the State Department, well, she's the Secretary of State, gives that university system $55 million. Isn't that called a kickback?
Yeah, by the way, that's one small example, right? I mean, between 2007 2014, we've talked about this a million times, she made $141 million. She's Secretary of State at the time. I mean, she's a government employee who made $141 million. I mean, when is it said that you can have another job while being a government employee, especially Secretary of State? I mean, this is somebody who's supposed to be out there defending U.S. interests around the world. I mean, it is truly tragic. It is truly, truly sad.
I think the conflict of interest is so great, and for a week I kept putting up on the screen the money she would take from countries that treat women, gays, lesbians, Christians, and Jews horribly. And she took all this money. How could she possibly say no to them? They're buying her influence.
Yeah, that's right. Especially Secretary of State, right? Saudi Arabia was one of them. They gave her $25 million, and you know how they treat women there.
For the library.
It's really, really tragic. I mean, it's really, really tragic. It is such a shame. I mean, it's almost like our government has become third world. This is not how the United States should.
This is something I would expect. James Comey today is something I would think I would see in Cuba or Venezuela. We now, last week we learned about
what's really real, the whole fucking picture is in a fucking vase.
Her daughter and the Libyan president, the Egyptian prime minister, there was a YouTube video. Well, she said she never sent a receipt for information, lie, false.
Captured in a vase.
1,000 emails. They weren't about yoga, a wedding, and a funeral. But
why is they supposed to amuse us inside of a building?
Not the one she claimed. And
we should go outside the fucking building and be amused by nature.
I don't know further. She also said that she turned in over all her emails, and they weren't. I mean, even as of last week.
Look at my foot.
What happened today is another very, very sad thing. I mean, I think it
take a picture
really
of it.
kind of
I know what I want to say on this picture.
What people expect from the FBI.
Just like we got people in cages.
What she did was reckless. It was totally
Nobody
reckless. It
free.
put our national security in jeopardy. It compromised our assets overseas. But yet nothing. I mean, here you go on your way, and it's very sad. And then she talked about how, Loretta Lynch would absolutely have a job in her administration, and I'm sure Comey would as well. And I mean, it really is a paid-play system within government. I mean, it's you protect me, I protect you. We'll all go on to a next administration. You'll keep your job. I'll make sure to protect you. And I mean, what happened with Bill and Loretta Lynch this weekend was tragic.
Well, let's go back to that. Interestingly, so Bill and Loretta Lynch meet on the plane. Now, the New York Times, interestingly, they didn't even report on it the next day. But, all right, so that meeting happens. She gets the convenience of a Saturday 3.5-hour session with the FBI. I don't know how many other people will be accommodated that way. Then Comey comes out, and then she's on Air Force One, and we're paying for it with Barack Obama campaigning for her.
Well, all while unfolding our intelligence and saying that, two people met in the airport and went onto each other's private planes to talk about grandkids for half an hour. I mean, listen, we're all big boys and girls. I mean, that's not what you should do. You don't speak about grandkids for half an hour, and you don't go on people's private planes and wait for people for long periods of time to talk about grandchildren when your wife is under federal investigation. It's ultimately one of the people that's going to determine the outcome. So
that is the person. That's it.
It's also really, it's questioning our intelligence as a nation. But, I mean, this is just repetitive. Whether it be the $141 million she made as Secretary of State, whether it be statements like that, I mean, it's really questioning the intelligence of the American people. I think people are, quite frankly, fed up with this nonsense.
But it does feed into the narrative. Your dad is really good at branding people, and we saw that in the primary. But crooked Hillary, for the last 2 weeks, the Benghazi report, then of course today, I mean, I watched the first 15 minutes of Comey and I said, wow, he's going to do it. And then at the end there was the however, and even though other people have done far less and gotten severe penalties. Isn't it better in the end for your dad, if you really think about it, that she survived as a weak candidate, that people do not trust, do not believe is honest, and she be the candidate?
You know what, honestly, it's selfish thinking. I mean, to think that way is selfish, right? That's saying, okay, let's take all the rules, let's take the Constitution of the United States, right. Let's take all the laws, let's shred it. I'm not saying that, right? I mean, yeah, listen, somebody could make that argument, and Hillary has probably more baggage than any politician out there. She's arguably the most pro politician that we've ever seen in this country, right? I mean, there's no question about it. It's situation after situation after situation. She's always on the losing end of it. But at the same time, I mean, this country has to have a system of laws. You saw what happened to General Craig. You saw what happened to so many others who did small fractions. Here she risked people's lives. She was cavalier about it. She knew exactly what she was doing. She deleted emails that were lied repeatedly over and over. And by the way, it cost people their lives at the Godspeed. It cost this nation trillions and trillions of dollars. And every week now we have another terrorist attack, whether it's Orlando, whether it's Turkey, whether it's San Bernardino, or the list goes on and on. It's only getting worse, Sean. It's only getting worse. We had men and women in the military that were told to change their clothes 4 times out of uniform. And the opposed to going and getting shot or getting shot at. And they never sent anybody to help these Americans under attack. It's unbelievable. I mean, they're not helping the soldiers there. I mean, they're making career decisions. They're not making patriotic decisions. They're not making America first decisions. They're making career decisions there. And it's very how soon we expect to be hopefully fairly soon. Hopefully in the next couple weeks. Yeah, he's really putting a tremendous amount of before the convention, time and attention. Time will tell. Time will tell. But you're not giving me anything on this, are you? He's putting a lot of work into it. I mean, this is arguably the most important decision that any candidate has to make, and he's taking it incredibly seriously. So it's going to be a great person. I think you're going to be proud. Eric, thanks so much for being with us. Appreciate it. Thanks, sir.
He's given over $700,000 to the Democrats. We're not exactly sure.
I used to be a Democrat for 30 years, and that man convinced me to be a Republican. Who gives a if he changed over time? What? So you don't want my vote?
It's been a campaign season unlike any other. And as the convention in Cleveland neared, some wondered if they made a mistake.
The party has been hijacked.
Some worried about violence.
I listen to people who say, Jeff, you better get a gun. I hear people saying, I'm getting a gun.
And most can't wait to celebrate their man.
The hippies at Woodstock, we're going to have Trump stock. And we're going to have it in Cleveland.
And we have the man himself, Donald Trump, in an exclusive interview on the eve of his nomination.
There's only never Trump movement this Nazi influence.
You're not worried about it?
Not even a little bit. Alternatives, Hillary Clinton, super liberal judges. Our country becomes Venezuela.
A lot of people that play this game, they can wheelchair.
I'm going to tell a lot of
secret fun. It's got my fun.
Reporting. Take the Trump convention from Cleveland. Brett Baer.
Behind me is Cleveland's celebrated Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, containing numerous exhibits that show the development of hundreds of influential artists. But for the next several days, the biggest rock star in town will be a billionaire businessman. There's no singer, but he is quite a performer. And this week, as thousands converge upon Cleveland for the Republican National Convention, it turns out that many of them are not your conventional Republicans. Chris Cox makes his living by creating chainsaw sculptures.
As long as I've got a couple logs and a chainsaw, I can turn it into something that will typically put some gas in my truck and a pillow under my head.
He's also the new face of the Republican Party.
Donald Trump has single-handedly untied the tongues of America. I jumped on board after I heard him talking about standing up to ISIS.
I would bomb the shit out of him.
I stood up once I heard him talking about vetting Syrian refugees.
Nobody knows who the people are.
Building a wall.
If you don't have a border, we don't have a country. As founder of Bikers for Trump, Cox headed to Cleveland to express his support.
Bikers for Trump, we've just come out of nowhere. We are just blowing up. We're pushing like 50,000 members. Bikers for Trump!
But while Trump gets plenty of backers,
I would really like to see the new nominee.
anybody but Trump ever vote for Trump. He's also got plenty of people who question these new followers.
And it's by people that actually don't care about our platform. That platform is the tool that we use to hold the candidate accountable.
Kendall Unruh, who teaches American government at a Christian school south of Denver, is Colorado's longest-serving Republican delegate, having attended the last 7 GOP conventions.
We've always just been sent to a convention in the past to coronate the nominee. Basically, we're backdrops. We're to play nice and act nice and have decorum.
But this time may be different, because some conservative Republicans, like Unruh, are appalled by Trump. She questions his policies.
You cannot put a 35% tariff on to items that are coming into the nation and expect this nation to still be prosperous.
Free trade can be wonderful if you have smart people, but we have people that are stupid.
What he's proposing is going to make America broke again.
So important that she questions his consistency.
Are you asking me to support the Donald Trump that believed in assault rifle bans, or the one that now has the NRA endorsement because he said that he was going to defend the Second Amendment every day?
We're going to take care of it, okay?
Are you going to support the Donald Trump that said that he agreed with partial birth abortion, or the one that now says that he's pro-life?
I've evolved on many issues over the years. She questions his conservatism.
Donald Trump is telling people that he's going to penalize their company if they choose to move out of the country.
I want 35% tax.
Does that not concern everybody that you have somebody that is literally trying to dictate where a private company can operate?
There's always going to be somebody out there that disagrees with what you say. When's the last time you see political rallies with 20, 30,000 people standing in their chairs? They don't even sit down in their chairs. They're standing the whole time.
He's not using persuasion tactics. In fact, his supporters are very fear-based. Obviously, he's used demagoguery to incite that in order to get that support.
If you want someone... Another prominent Trump skeptic in Cleveland is former Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli. What is Trump trying to undo that the Republican Party stands for?
I don't think he cares about a lot of things that the Republican Party has stood for a long time. What some people would call traditional values. He doesn't really care about how big government agencies are. He doesn't have any notion of shrinking government. I've never heard him talk about that as a problem.
But voters like Chris Cox argue that Donald Trump is speaking to the people's concerns. Good, I like that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Donald Trump is turning the Republican Party into the working American Party. People want jobs. People want to feel a sense of accomplishment. And Donald Trump's giving them a hope that we're going to be able to achieve that. Mr. Cox's message to the Republican establishment is simple. Watch out. If Donald Trump's elected, he's going to send a loud message. You better start doing your job, because he knows, guess what? You're next. You're going to be out of here. You're going to pack your bag. And your legacy is going to be that you were fired. Is Donald Trump an anomaly? Or is this the beginning of the change of the Republican Party?
Well, you know, that's one of those things that time will tell.
Create
I'm
something like
actually
this.
on the rules committee.
Kendall Unruh doesn't believe that we need to find out. She planned on trying to stop
Bullshit.
Trump from becoming the nominee at the
Those people out here
convention.
that don't care.
Ultimately, I don't want Donald Trump
You
as
ought
our
to try
nominee.
drinking something.
Chris Cox disagrees. He thinks Trump is just what the doctor ordered. Donald Trump's going to bring some dignity back to our country. He's going to give us a sense of direction. We need America back. We want our country back, and we're going to get it back. This is a movement, and it's happening right now. The establishment's coming on board. We'll see who holds out. The ones that are there, they better fall in line. They better start making some things happen. And they better start representing the people that put them there. This is the clash that Republicans are bracing themselves for here in Cleveland. It's also one that's no surprise to anybody who's been paying attention. When we return, the early fireworks leading up to this week's explosion. And later, our pre-convention discussion with Donald Trump.
It's like love, man. something that you'll never get to do in real life.
We've seen the undercurrents running through the Republican Party as it meets here in Cleveland. But sparks have been flying all along in this most contentious campaign season.
I don't need no army unless you got somebody that you need to go and get. And you have to get nobody.
Sometimes there are even shouting matches.
We don't care!
You think about it. What are you really fighting for?
Such as on the floor of the Virginia Republican Convention.
If you're not
In
fighting
this case, they're
to go
divvying
do
up the delegates
to do like we have with ISIS,
symbolic of
which
a
we
larger
create.
fund.
There's a lot of people that don't
create.
understand what comes into
If you
place
ain't going
when it
over
comes to
there
the
to handle a
nominations.
business with something like that, this is some bullshit.
Republican Party.
Your leaders at your local level created the nomination.
Trump voters are so frustrated with the party structure, and they're finding out now how the party works for maybe the first time in their life. It's very frustrating.
Jack Morgan is in charge of Trump's campaign in southwestern Virginia. Morgan and the Trump camp feared they were being outmaneuvered by Cruz supporters.
They weren't really Cruz people. They were everybody else. They were Bush and Walker and Rubio and all those things. And they kind of came to Cruz because Cruz is the last one left in their eyes that can stop Donald Trump.
The voters chose Trump, but his people feared Cruz would still manage to get more delegates. It's all a part of spiraling ill will that still exists between pro and anti-Trump forces.
So we're calling for a true unity slate. That's what we're looking for. No, we're in an interview. Sorry, Shaq. Wow, thanks. I know, but let's finish. Let's finish, yeah. So we're calling for a true unity slate. We got the most votes.
We gave Shaq Hill his chance to speak.
Well, Mr. Trump has been in 5 different parties in the last 10 different years. He's given over $700,000 to the Democrats. We're not exactly sure.
I used to be a Democrat for 30 years, and that man convinced me to be a Republican. Who gives a if he changed over time? What? So you don't want my vote? I'm a Republican now, and I want the Republican
Y'all
Party.
want y'all shit to get back like y'all had that shit. Fuck y'all.
You're better than me as a Democrat?
I'm not
You know what I'm
yelling.
saying? That
That Trump supporter
none of
was
these people
Cheryl
had
Grant,
shit to do with none
a
of that
nurse
shit.
who works for the Department of Defense in Norfolk.
I was a 30-year Democrat, and I was motivated by what was going on the Republican side. Wanting to disenfranchise the voters of Virginia and hijack their votes in a secretive manner is disgusting, and it is absolutely inappropriate.
The fault line exposed in Virginia runs through the breadth of the party.
Donald does well with voters who have relatively low information, who are not that engaged, who are angry, and they see him as an angry voice.
Low-educated voter. Ooh, that one just was, beyond the pale of a statement.
Former federal prosecutor from Southern Virginia, Tamara Neo, is an alternate delegate for Trump. She's on the lookout for more backroom deals.
I think that common sense apparently left the political process some time ago when nobody was watching. And that's kind of why I'm a Trump supporter, because I think it's time for it to come back. I plan on making sure I understand both the RNC's rules as well as Virginia's rules, because they do intertwine when it comes to July in Cleveland.
He's brought our emotions to the table, and you're seeing that today.
This is the first time I'm seeing the slate.
But I make some of the worst decisions when I'm angry. For President of the United States, I need to see somebody that has a track record. Mr. Trump doesn't have a track record.
Man, shut up. We don't need nobody with a track record. Let him fuck up.
20 years working with.
Shit, y'all been fucking up. Let him fuck up now. Shit, get somebody else to turn the fuck up.
He brought in more voters than any Republican in our lifetimes, yet somehow that's a bad thing. They're saying they're not my kind of Republican. But if you look at where he stands today on key critical issues, what I would argue the most important issues in America today, he's the most conservative person out there.
Next, curtain up, hit the lights. The Republicans are ready to start the show. But will they be ready for prime time? The excitement is growing for the Republican National Convention, much of it generated by Donald Trump's promise to put on a convention unlike any that's ever been seen.
The hippies had Woodstock, we're going to have Trump stock, and we're going to have it in Cleveland.
The convention only lasts 4 days. but it's a bigger production than a Broadway musical. We went to the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland to see how things are coming along.
There are butterflies in my stomach, but that's just the nature of what I do, because you're always going to worry about the what if. We got a lot going on today.
Phil Alonji is the executive producer of the convention.
What we have here is the upper screen is a convex, and what we've been trying to do is project out to the audience. But then, of course, the speech is a critical element, so what we did for the bottom is we made a concave screen, and this way you're drawing the audience in. There's the campaign, there's official proceedings, and there's production. We collaborate. Our job as a production team is to support them and come up with ideas to help support what it is they're trying to do.
It's a big undertaking, a lot of equipment, a lot of material. Greg Lane is the convention's executive project director. Though the convention only lasts a few days, he's been working on it for years.
I've actually been involved since 2014 and was one of the technical advisors doing the site selection process. And I've been here preparing for the convention itself since January of 2015. It's a long time.
The tasks are gargantuan.
We had to remove almost 3,000 of the fixed stadium seats to make way for the staging, the podium. Probably a couple of 100 miles of both electrical and low voltage signal cable and camera cable that's run throughout the building that's just temporary.
And the to-do list seems endless. Building platforms, bringing in tons of equipment, hanging lights, and so on. And if that pressure weren't enough, when the Cleveland Cavaliers made it to the NBA Finals, that meant the GOP had to start work on site later than planned. They were given only 4 weeks to transform the arena.
Normally a convention, you have about 6 weeks to build it out.
There is the GOP communications director.
Taking that venue and transforming it, pulling out seats, taking what would be a luxury box and making that a broadcast booth for all the various networks that want to go in there. And so it's a huge deal, right?
And the construction goes beyond the arena.
We're actually in the garage, if you can believe it or not.
Lindsay Keith works for something called the Committee on Arrangements.
We are in the brand new media row, which is kind of our central hub for all surrogates. We've actually put up drywall in here, we've put down carpet, we put up new lights, and we painted the walls. I think when people walk in here now, they're going to be pleasantly surprised to realize it doesn't feel like a parking garage at all.
Ironically, with all of this preparation, the whole point of a well-run convention is for the technical side to take a back seat to the politics.
Conventions are important for the party because it's the one time during the whole campaign where you can get your message out with minimal media filter.
Alex Conant was the RNC press secretary during the 2008 convention.
That is, you get hours of primetime coverage direct into the living rooms of tens of millions of Americans.
And this is where Donald Trump, with his TV experience, hopes to make a difference. He and his people hope to capture the imagination of the American people in this convention with a different theme each night. According to the schedule, the first night will be how to make America safe. The second night, how to put America back to work. The third night, putting America first. And the final night, bringing America together. With one final message adding up to, you may have heard it before, how to make America great again. The lineup promises plenty of names. Political names like Senator Mitch McConnell, House Speaker Paul Ryan, Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Ambassador John Bolton, and of course, Vice Presidential candidate Mike Pence. But also TV stars, military heroes, and regular folks with their own stories to tell. Above all, though, there'll be Trump. Trump and more Trump. Every night, at least one Trump will speak. Melania, Tiffany, Don Jr., Eric, Ivanka. He's got a big family, not to mention personal friends of his, all leading up to the big moment, the candidate's acceptance speech. Perhaps as important as who will be here is who won't.
The media is going to be pointing out, where are the Bushes? Where is Mitt Romney? Where is Condi Rice? Where are all these great Senate candidates?
Some of these things are folks that are in cycle and they're not going to conventions.
RNC Chairman Reince Priebus says he isn't concerned.
It's not uncommon for that to happen. Now, I understand there's a little bit more of it now, but I think in the end it'll all work out just fine.
Donald Trump has said this won't be a boring convention like in the past. But isn't what he calls boring a good thing from your perspective as the Republican chairman?
Yes, we tend to not like drama, but you know, I do agree with him in the sense that people do want a little bit more entertainment, a little bit more fun.
If a convention is one long infomercial, what is the Republican product that's being sold?
The product is taking America back and putting America first.
Priebus acknowledges their nominee is the kind of guy who shoots from the hip.
Political correctness is deadly.
Says that's not a bad thing.
We've tried the button-down approach before. How's it work for us lately? I think some people are encouraged that he is going to hit back, he is going to fire back, and he's not the conventional candidate. But you know what? Conventional hasn't worked for us.
If Reince Priebus is promising something unconventional, other party regulars threaten something unprecedented, replacing the presumptive nominee. And we'll hear from that nominee himself on that threat.
I started right here to explain to y'all what my company stands for. My company stands for righteousness. Real love, TLC. You see the Y with 2 lines on it? Y, real, Y, love, Y, TLC. Why are we here? We're here for each other in the circle of life to go around right. They always gonna have that one in a circle that don't want the circle to go right. You can always have that one that just want to go against what's righteous. So this world could never be a utopia. Like, once I came out of the light, that's what I felt like I was gonna do after knowing now what's right, knowing why tell the truth. Right feels good, wrong don't. Until you realize to know who the Creator is in you, what was created all around you, why you think like you do. That is all part of you getting to know the Creator in you. To all of you, if you don't know, that love, unconditional, that feeling, that spark before the smoke of fire that you dream with. Because when you arise from a dream, you never fully asleep. So therefore, you're not touched in the beginning of the day with the spark of the Creator. You always have that spark. It's just on you with your will to will the right way for that day. Because no one's promised tomorrow. When you look at all the different bullshit sayings that they have, like, here today, gone tomorrow. Bullshit. Here today, gone today. Here not, gone right now. Because no one's promised tomorrow. The truth, the real truth of everything is, you only have the now. Right now is what counts with what you do. What you leave done, or what you do right now is the truth. I'm just saying. It is what it is. But it's on you to know the truth and stop believing in some bullshit. But, like I said again, everybody has to have a starting point, a foundation. But once you find out your foundation is crooked or weak, you got to strengthen the foundation. It is what it is.
You gotta get on your bank. Your lease run out today, the 8th. Yeah.
All right.
I'll get that paperwork in the chapter.
I put the clothes on right now then.